So, something you can do while you are sick and passing the time and not going nuts is reroute the purpose of what being sick is. It's your body telling you you need to chill, you need to recover, you need to sit down, stay still, and relax. I know from experience, the same thing happened to me last week. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. I felt that long forgotten ache, chill, a little bit of a fever, and then the headache started setting in. And I knew that this was going to be a couple days at least. Well, it ended up lingering on for a week. So I took that as an opportunity that my body is telling me to relax. You can get sick for many different reasons, but it comes down to stress. Just like all other things that break things down, it's due to too much stress. So it could be due from overtraining, lack of sleep, too much emotional stress, too much mental stress. All those things can compile and break the immune system down. So I think it was, for me, a combination of nervous system stress and too much mental emotional stress without being released properly or managed properly. And that will cause you to be susceptible to things that we're normally exposed to on a day-to-day basis, bugs, viruses, and all these things people don't want to talk about. But the reality is that we're exposed to these and they're living in our body day in and day out. We just have the resilience on a typical day-to-day to be able to handle and manage these things effectively, to not let them get out of whack or get out of order. But when things get out of order, that's when we feel sick. So we need to tune in, relax, and go within, deep within. So finding things that once gave you pleasure, that excited you or entertained you, whether it's a show or a practice, or taking inventory on your life and looking at the things that you used to enjoy that you no longer implement. That's something that I did over the week. Was I looked at the things that got me to the levels of success that I dreamed of, that I really worked towards, and I looked at the things that I wasn't doing that got me there in the first place. And I can look at those things and go, okay, I could see how could improve me going into the new year. Especially this time right now is opportunistic, right? To reflect upon things and go through things. So some practices that I did was I looked through my phone on the pictures over the past year and saw all the progress that I made just from those pictures that I took, where I traveled to, what I did, who I was with, all those things. And that really gave me a sense of accomplishment. So it's good to reflect. That would be something I would suggest you to do. Go through your phone, look at the photos, and really acknowledge where you were and where you are now. And I think you'll see a lot of growth in many different ways. Another thing to do is really practice on breathing. This is fundamental for all things. The greatest athletes, the greatest masters or performers in their field master the basics. They master the basics within that skill set, and they repeat and practice it methodically and subconsciously every single day. Whether it was Michael Jordan with his passes, his dribbling, and his basic shots, he was able to do the miraculous things because he had the basics down. He had the mastery down. He had his lifestyle orientated in a way to where he wasn't dealing with baby mama drama. He wasn't dealing with excessive stress in unnecessary ways. He had his life designed in such a way for him to be able to perform on the court as he needed to. Well, you may be saying that I'm not Michael Jordan or any of these things. Well, the fact is, no, you're not. You are you. And in order to get the best out of you, you need to orchestrate everything around you to allow you to express yourself in the best possible way. So I would say you need to do the exact same thing with your life. And breathing is one of those fundamental things. One of those, you can go 3 days without food, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, but you can't go more than 3 minutes without a breath. It truly is the life-giving source that allows us to live, be resilient towards stress, and carry on with life and progress. Without breath, it lowers your conditioning, it lowers your immune system, it lowers your nervous system function, your brain function, all those things. So we need to really acknowledge how important breath is and how often we just let it go by the wayside and we don't pay attention to it. We don't listen to it. We don't acknowledge how we're breathing, right? We talk about in training sessions a lot how the cadence to your breath is very important. How you breathe, where you breathe, the timing of your breath is very, very important and will determine how much you activate muscles and how well conditioned your muscles will be in the strength training session. So breathing is so fundamental, not only for training, for health, but for your own sanity, to calm things down as a whole. So getting into breath, getting in tune with breath allows to omit and eliminate the distractions and all the things that may normally bother us on a day-to-day, and get in tune with something so foundational, basic. You got a good opportunity ahead of you with some downtime to focus on the basics. And here's this opportunity. So breathing exercise, we've gone through the Wim Hof thing. We've gone through all the other aspects of different breathing methods. And this one, I don't want to focus on stressing out or exercising breath. I want you to focus on tapping in how you breathe and how you can coerce it and make it work for you. So breathing in through the nose is going to be the main focus. When you're breathing in and exhaling, you're going to be focused on pursing your lips or creating some resistance, some vocal tone when you breathe out. So you have some auditory cues as you tap into this breath. What I want you to do is, when you can close your eyes to omit any visualization or distractions, but when you're breathing in, you're focusing on the tip of your nose, breathing in through your nose and letting that breath travel, follow that breath into your lungs. So don't just breathe in, fill the lungs, and then out. Breathe in and follow that path, that swirl of air going into your lungs, deep into your lungs. And then as you feel your lungs expand, your chest expand, and if you're breathing deeply, your belly expand, then you're gonna go hold that for a second and then breathe it out. So hold it for a second and feel that breath heat up and expel, exhale out, right? And so practice this breath. Pause the video for a little bit and breathe through that, in and out, in and out, in and out, and feel the breath surge throughout your entire body. Feel the breath inhale into the trillions of cells that you have, because that's literally what's happening. When you breathe in, you're opening the blood vessels. When you breathe in through the nose, you're opening blood vessels and opening the delivery of oxygen to those cells, that tissue. The trillions of cells that you have, they are actually inhaling as you inhale and exhaling as you exhale. You know, you hear this, blood is blue, but when it's exposed to oxygen, it turns red, right? Well, that's essentially what's going on. This exchange of oxygen is literally changing the physiology of your cells. So just like you feel the expansion of breath, so too do your cells. So breathe energy in. You're breathing in to inflate, inhale the cells, and then expel, exhale, and continue doing that. Let it travel down into your fingers. Feel the tingliness. Feel it into your bones and expanding and contracting as you breathe. So you become in tune with your mind and body. And that's really what this is about with breathing. When you get in tune with your breath, whether it's in training or in this very practice, you're connecting your mind to body. You're becoming more aware of the little things. You're becoming aware of the feeling and sensation of breath, as opposed to just automated mouth breathing that we typically do when we're stressed. So now you're controlling breath and you're becoming in tune with your body, with your mind, and that's creating a better connection with self here. So taking that practice and exhaling and inhaling and inflating the cells and energizing your body and going through the different aspects of your body as you breathe, feel it into your arms, feel it into your legs, and go in and out, and practice that for a few times. Spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Take the time to silence yourself and just focus on that breath in through the nose. It can be out through the nose as well, but create some restriction in your throat to create that hot breath, as the yogis call it. So you're energizing, really heating up that breath as it comes out. And another practice that I want you to focus on after you go through that process, continue that breathing pattern as you're going through, but look at breath in a different way. The Buddhists say that when asked what God is, to define what God is, they say that God is the breath within the breath. So taking it back to that key point where you can only breathe, you can't live without air or oxygen for 3 minutes, but you can go 3 days and 3 weeks without water and food. Breath is certainly the priority when it comes to living and thriving, right? You need to breathe in order to get the water, and then you get to the food. So that statement that God is the breath within the breath, think about that. When you're breathing in, you're taking a breath, but what are you breathing in? You're bringing in life. You're breathing in the actual raw resource to actually allow you to thrive, heal, and recover from whatever stress you're dealing with. So the sickness, to heal yourself, breathe energy into your body. And I know from my experience, I wasn't breathing enough to begin with, but then when I started focusing on it and putting time, throughout the day, morning, afternoon, at night, if you can do it more frequently, great. 5, 10, 15 minutes, spend time. And that's what I mean by getting into your mind, getting into your space. It's going to allow you to not focus on work. It's going to allow you to focus on what you need to focus on, which is yourself, your health, and healing. So what is God? It's the breath within the breath. So you're breathing in that power of life, however you want to define it. God, chi, energy, oxygen, whatever hits home for you. The point is that it is breathing energy into your body. So another concept, or another good image that I want you to imagine, is breath can be described as the incinerator of the crud, the dark spots in the body. So it brings life to things, but it incinerates what I imagine visually within me, the dark spots, the mold on the lungs, and the spaces within our mind that prevent us from becoming who we truly are. We all have those demons within and those limitations from within that hold us back. When you breathe in, you can incinerate and burn those. So you hear this like, breathe in the good, breathe out the bad, breathe in white, breathe out black, breathe in peace, breathe out tension, all that type of stuff. The way I visualize it is breathing out the ash. So you can breathe in fire or heat to scorch the things that need to be ridded from your body, whether it's disease, sickness, yada, 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 inflammation, whatever it may be, tension, stress as a whole. Breathe in to burn it off, and then breathe out the ash that is burnt out. And that's a powerful mental image that allow you to focus on one thing. Don't think about the stress in a negative way. You're breathing in something to burn and char off the excess, the mold, the fungi, the stress, the demons, the bugs, whatever you visualize as something that's holding you back, stressing you out, turning you down, or conflicting with you. You can breathe in to burn it off and then breathe out the ash. I think that's a powerful visual that can help intensify the breathing and make it more applicable in a 5, 10, 15 minute breathing session. And you can certainly go longer. I mean, there's practices that go on for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If you got the time and working on the patience, it's all synergistic, it's all holistic. You got to have the patience to really calm yourself, to not have stimuli all over the place to keep you occupied. No, stimulate yourself and focus on the foundation for all things that need life, which is oxygen, breathing. Breathe it in, breathe it out in that practice, and use these tools to help you navigate and imagine to make it much more effective, therapeutic, and healing. And if you can use that time wisely, you will come out of this feeling more at one with yourself, more connected. The important thing is to stay connected, to stay in tune with those things that got you healthy in the first place. It's not just eating, drinking, and resting, but you can speed up the healing process by connecting with yourself, connecting mind to body, just like you can be more effective with your training by connecting mind to body and your breath. It energizes, it increases conditioning, it increases performance, and it strengthens the body as a whole when you breathe properly. So, especially when we're sitting and lethargic and bored and, in a negative state, you can get yourself out of that negative state by energizing yourself and focusing on something that is foundational and key to living a healthy life, to living and thriving and growing. And that will permeate into more and into other aspects of your life and make you more present, make you more in the moment with things, which is going to help you to be less reactive to other stressors, and it's going to allow you to perform better, and you're going to be able to have some space in between the stimulus and you to where you can observe it and not react and handle it with more poise, control, and have better outcomes for yourself in all ways, shapes, and forms. So hopefully this helps. Let me know your thoughts on it, and heal, and breathe. See ya.